Hi students, welcome to today's gathering. Today I would be teaching you the complete aspects of drug discovery and how they are designed and how it will be helpful in your academics as well as your research part. For the drug design, first thing is the drug design is divided into two types. That is, the drug design is divided into two types. One is your ligand based drug design, the other one is structure based drug design. So here drug design I am taking as DD is divided into two parts. One is LBDD, the other one is your SBDD. So LBDD is simple ligand based drug design or discovery, structure based drug design or discovery. It is generally not termed as discovery because it is not, it is termed as design. So let us see how they are different from each other and how are the basic steps in designing any drugs for any disease or any epidemic or pandemic. So for that, let us focus on some fundamentals of drug design. So before designing any drug, you need to know the protein structure of that disease which are causing for that protein. Suppose if you are dealing with diabetes, you should know about the insulin binding receptors present in your body, G protein coupled receptors or any other receptors in your body. Suppose if you are targeting for any viral infection or bacterial infection, and what is the target of their binding and how they produce the effects, that is your toxic or pathological or histopathological effects in your body, that is the fundamental information. That means you require a protein. So this is my protein of interest. Generally I am showing in a three-dimensional view. So this protein, where I will get that I will get from RCS-PDB protein data bank, that is Royal Chemical Society's protein data bank, and all the proteins are deposited in your protein data bank. From there you can easily download the proteins in a PDB file, that is protein data bank file. So now what happens when your protein is well existed or reported in the literature, that protein will have a ligand. Say, let me draw one small ligand. So some X ligand. Yeah, simple, this is, assume that it is a ligand present inside the protein cavity. This ligand is bound with receptor residues, that is with hydrophobic interaction or hydrogen bond donors or even hydrogen bond acceptors. So depends upon the active site of the protein. So this is the fundamental information which you get from the protein. Now you know the protein, you know the active site of interest, you need to fit your molecule, that is ligand, which is resemble with the structure. That part of drug design is called as a structure based drug design. That means you have a protein structure well known, you know the active site well known, you are simply docking your new molecule. Suppose I will remove all this protein. Now this is my protein. I have removed the protein. Now I will create a grid box into which my ligand is fitting. So this is the fundamental grid box. They call it as glide grid or protein grid or receptor grid or active site grid or any grid, you know, this is grid. You have a protein, however. Yeah. Now you are targeting one more molecule which is resemblance to the active site. So this is a very, very interesting and very, very important in drug design. People do docking without know anything about docking. So this is the very funny in docking. So for that you should know what type of molecules you are having and how they will be effective. So let me tell you with an example. Suppose if you have a molecule, say naphthaquinones. So for example, you have a molecule like naphthaquinones, basic moiety, and further you may have your side chains X, Y, Z or whatsoever you have. These molecules you have, and you want to design what type of interactions, what type of biological activity you have. So if you see in the literature, the active drugs, that is anthracyclines, doxorubicin, daunorubicin, these are all the molecules which are having the basic nucleus of naphthaquinones. These are exhibiting that anti-cancer activity, that is DNA topoisomerase 1 and DNA topoisomerase 2. Basically they exhibit more specific to topo 2 inhibitors. So this is the fundamental information which you need to know, that structural resemblance of active site molecule is a prime requisite for docking. So this is the fundamental information which you need to know before doing any docking studies. So let us see one more aspect. This finishes your structure based drug design. Now let us go for ligand based drug design. What is ligand based drug design is, you don't know the structure of protein, you know the ligand which is useful for the action. Suppose take nCoV, that is novel coronavirus, or you can even call it as COVID-19, or you can even call it as SARS-CoV-2. So this is a virus which affects the human beings. They go and bind to the ACE, that is angiotensin converting enzyme receptor in your body, thereby exhibiting the biological effect, that is not biological effect, pathological effect of what you say, viral spread. That means that will affect your secondary pneumocytes, thereby your viscosity of lungs is decreased, thereby oxygen is deprived for the patients. There you cause his pathological and disease causing effects in your body. This is a fundamental information. Where you do not have a protein, where you do not have a ligand in its active site, then you need to design molecules for that disease. For that, what you need to know is, you know the drug of choice which are present in the market, or which are already tried on patients worldwide. Suppose if in India there are any corona patients, we use lopinavir, ritonavir, remdesivir, and even you use several other drugs, say favipiravir. So these are all some drugs which drug of choice which is in treatment. That means we are using them as a blindly. Now you draw all the structures one above the other. So you are superimposing the structures one above the other, that is ligands. This type of docking, where you filter all the molecules present in the literature by superimposing on the drug of choice, such drug design is called as ligand based drug design. Sometimes you even call it as DILAMS, that is dynamic lattice oriented molecular modeling system. That means you have a lattice of your drug and you will superimpose the all other lattices and you will screen it. Such type of docking studies are called as ligand based drug design. So let us see how exactly the docking studies contains. So you know that the novel coronavirus affects the human being. So it affects. So now what happens is, you have a gene or genome sequence of the virus that is reported in the literature or identified by the scientist, that is the genome sequence of virus. You have to know two things, that is whole genome analysis, that is next generation sequencing, that is whole human genome is available in the data bank, that is bio projects, as well as the genome sequence of the coronavirus is also available. But exact protein structures of all protein components are not available in your literature. So this nCoV contains spike proteins, M protein, glycoproteins, as well as various protein components, as well as your single stranded RNA. So all other components are there, where the literature has only the, what do you say, that is proteases of the virus proteins, and there are the other structural components of the virus is not reported. but you have a genome sequence which is reported in the literature. Now what you will do, that is you will perform a study called as BLAST. What is BLAST? So these are the fundamental information you need to know. That is, BLAST is basic local alignment search tool. That is called homology. That means you have a gene, you will translate the gene to protein theoretically. You are not converting completely by conversion by protein translation or anything. Here you will confirm the surface topology or gene identification and sequence alignment studies. There you align the sequence with the existing sequence whose protein is already reported. So by the way, by doing such, you will create a protein that is imaginary protein for your sequence in the literature. So that type of studies are called as homology modeling. In doing so, you will generate a protein structure which is present, that is called homological modeling, that is three-dimensional of protein you identified. Now there is one more target called as active site identification. Prior to this, you don't have any active site. Now you need to get the active site. For that, you will go for called as TM modeling. That means you have a topology modeling. So you will again go for active site prediction by modeling the topology by the existing proteins in the literature. In doing so, you will identify the active site. Now you have identified the active site, you have modeled your protein, now your active site is ready. Now you have to fit all the molecules in the literature. So now I have a database called as Zinc database. Now I will fit all my molecules in the literature into this active site. Now I will see which molecules will have better interaction without any toxic effects. That fundamental information is called as active site docking or homology modeling or TM prediction. This type of prediction is called as topology modeling, active site modeling. So first and foremost thing is you need to know the X-ray structure of your protein. How well is your protein is resolved? That is, your protein is deposited with R value. The lower the R value, higher is the resolution of a protein. It is well defined. So once you do, before you are doing docking, there are some things you need to do with the side chains of a protein which are not identified, because the X-ray structures cannot differentiate between OH and NH, and there are some amino acid residues which cannot be differentiated by the X-ray crystals. That is called, that's why we do protein preparation. That is protein preparation of, that is whatever the protein you download, you see that all side chains are well defined and well identified, are well characterized. So once you prepare your protein, you have to minimize the protein energy and you have to check whether the protein is perfectly minimized or not. You have to calculate the RMSD value before and after the protein minimization. Next thing is ligand of your interest. So once you draw the ligands in two-dimensional, you have to convert them into three-dimensional molecules. After converting, you need to minimize the energy of that ligands. How you will minimize the energy of the ligands? You do some calculation called as MM2 minimization or MM4 minimization or OPLS minimizations. These are all called computational tools to minimize the energy of a ligands, where the three-dimensional energy is minimized because the ligand is flexible in docking. Now when the energy is minimized, you will perform docking. Before going into docking, first thing is you have to validate your docking. So how you will validate the docking? That means the protein which is coming in from the literature will have some characteristic interaction. Suppose if you take 18Ti, this is topoisomerase 1, which contains the standard drug of choice of camptothecin, which interacts with arginine 364 in its active site. This is the fundamental information you know. Now you need to prepare the protein. You need to minimize the energy of the protein, and after minimizing it, you just remove the camptothecin from the active site. So you remove the camptothecin from the active site. After removing, again you energy minimize the protein, calculate the RMSD, and after energy minimization, you dock with same camptothecin. Like same camptothecin should be docked into the active site. This camptothecin should go and fit into the same place, and it should have interaction with same amino acid residue with lowest RMSD value. If such type of interactions are there, such type of docking is called as validation of docking protocol. Once this is done, you will dock all the ligands into the active site and see what type of docking interactions they are having. This is the fundamental information. One more thing is, you should remember one thing, that if you dock your ligands into all the proteins present in the literature, your molecules will exhibit interaction with all the proteins. Why? Because all drugs are chemicals, but all chemicals are not drugs. This is the fundamental information you need to know. That's why you should select the target of your choice which will suit exactly with your ligand of interest, then perform docking. That will give you the fundamental information of your interactions, and that's why we do Lipinski filters before doing any docking study, so that whether they will have toxic studies or not, toxic effects or not, as well as, so whatever the ligand you have designed, some X ligand, you have to perform 2 more studies before docking, that is your ADMET properties, or what do you say, absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion, toxicology studies. That is also in silico studies, because on computational studies. Before that, you need to do Lipinski filters, or there are several other filters which you perform your studies. The minimized ligands, which are not having any Lipinski variations, which do not have any toxic effects, such type of molecules should be chosen in docking, and this is a fundamental information of complete docking protocol. Hope you like my lectures and you understand the concept. Like my channel, subscribe to my channel, and share among your friends. This is Dushyant Reddy. I will be back with another lecture for you. Thank you.